Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna bite you.
Hard.
How are you?
It's not hard, right?
Good, you guys today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
All these people here on time. Oh, so we'll probably need a few more chairs because I'm still broken.
Okay, what do you want us to do?
Okay, so.
We're gonna add some more chairs.
Let's see.
In the circle?
Yeah, widen the circle. So. Yes. So, how about?
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Those were fun. Yeah. That's right. I put my lunch everywhere on it.
Now we can't do it.
Feels good.
You want to be a full-fledged. I think there's somebody over there.
Now we feel so far away.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of intimate earlier.
Now it's cool.
No one else out, we can move any closer. Well, thank you for being here tonight. This is an important part in this community's process, because it's about, now what? What do we do now? What's next? Okay, so.
I just wanted to give you room. Right, exactly.
So, oh. Then you need my microphone on, right?
Yes.
We're recording this. Okay. Now we have a quorum for a board decision. Yeah. So when I go into a church as a consultant for their transition, I come with a whole big bag, a toolbox, lots of different things that I could do. But I don't know what to do until I get there. And not only do I not know what the subject is that needs to be addressed, but I'm not really sure how to address it, because I've found that the answer exists in the community, not in me. Okay? And so I need you. I need this openness here. So I come in and I say, okay, God, let me know what I need to do keep me centered, keep me open, keep me collaborative. Because in my ego, in my mind, I have lots of stuff that I think I can do. And that's probably true of all of us. Our thinking has opinions and habits. But in our souls, in our spirits, the answers are there. The guidance is there. And so we'll have a little meditation time to listen. We'll clarify some questions and then listen and see what comes up. When I got here, I looked around. Been talking with people, and I found some things that I decided to go after and change and work on immediately. Talking with some people, but obviously the Sunday order of service. So I've made some significant changes there. I did that for my own comfort, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on too. I wrote a Christmas letter. I had some remittance envelopes printed so that people have an opportunity to send a year-end gift in, and there's a prayer request forms on there. Did the first steps towards creating a prayer ministry, a multifaceted prayer ministry here. What else? I did a newcomer's packet, a newcomer's letter. It's in the seat backs there, so that so you had a little form. So it has a first impressions card on it, and so we get feedback from people whenever they first get here, and I suggested getting some use of the community room downstairs on Sundays, and that's been arranged. So I've done some things in the last couple of weeks. I guess I've been here 3 Sundays, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah. I have a number of things that I'm going to do. Is it me feeding back? No, that's sound outside. I'm going to create a search team, help you form a search team to be able to hire your permanent minister. That's definitely something I'm going to do. That'll be towards the end of my stay. I expect that I will, I'll stay until that's up and running, until you have made a choice. We'll see how long that takes. We need to do a bylaws revision because there are some provisions in your current bylaws that Unity worldwide would need to see changed before they would agree to help facilitate your search, to post the opening for other ministers. So we have to change the bylaws. The easiest time to do that's the annual meeting in 8 weeks or so. Yeah. So that's coming up. I'm going to be working on updating the website, and I'm also going to be working on a way for people who see the service online to make a contribution. As it is now, they would have to get off, they'd have to click off the video and go to the website and then find the donate button, and it's complicated. And then you have to fill out all these forms every time. So there are simpler ways to do that. So I'm going to do that. So that's what I have scheduled. That's kind of something of what I've done and what I have scheduled. So my question is, now what? What do you see as being important to get done in the next several months? Not sure how long I'm going to be here. I have a 6-month contract, so at least 5 more months. But when we originally talked, it was kind of open-ended, 6 months, a year, maybe longer, maybe 4 months, maybe a year and a half. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm flexible. What do you want me to do? What's urgent? What's important? Okay, so.
I think with COVID being 2 years.
We need a microphone. We're recording this, so we need to be able to hear. There are 2 on buttons.
Do 2 on buttons. One goes sideways, one goes up.
Right.
All right.
Thank you. Hello?
Yep.
Well, I think with COVID lasting 2 years and still there, but now, I mean, we're here without masks. It isn't as repressive, I would use the word, and that really put a dent, I think, on events, things that could happen here. And I, for one, feel like, boy, I'd like to plan on some things happening, get people involved, reaching out to the community, get some physical stuff
Testing.
going on. So,
Is there enough of a cord there that we could pass that around?
Try to,
this was not
because that one's just not. But we heard it. We can't hear you.
Okay, so, yeah. So, COVID didn't put a dent in things. It destroyed some things. You know, a lot of churches have closed because of COVID.
So I think it's a very unusual circumstance. Oh, sure, okay.
This one's not working for whatever reason.
I think it's an unusual circumstance. Do I sit here? Maybe this is a hot seat.
Okay, all right.
So I think. Hot seat there, Joe. There you go. One more. So I think everyone is kind of cabin fever, you know, in a lot of ways. Having been restricted, and I mean, the world's changed. It's changing. And so it's reflective, I think we're changing regardless of what we do or don't do. And I guess I just feel a lot of energy of wanting to do a lot of new creative things here.
Okay, all right. There have been some surveys done about churches. Richard sent me some websites that I've been looking at. Since COVID, people stayed home. They stopped coming to church. They started watching services online. And many of the people thought, oh, I can just sit here in my jammies and not have to get up and go to church. Okay? A lot of people a majority of people in the country think that they get their spiritual inspiration from someplace other than church now. Now that's serious. A lot of them are getting it online. So you can go online, you can go on to YouTube, and you can find people presenting inspirational lessons much better than virtually any minister can, because you can find inspirational music that's better than you could hear in any church. And a lot of people are doing that. In addition, there are the people that can't relate to traditional spirituality that are exploring all sorts of options too. That's always been going on. And whenever those people are asked, why don't you go to church? They said, it's not relevant. I get my inspiration somewhere else. So one of the places somewhere else is online. And so this community has invested a lot in time and money in video production, in streaming the service. Okay? So we have a responsibility for that service being as good as it could be. Okay? Strive for excellence. Perfection's not possible, but, we can make it good, make it excellence. So, what could we do? This is kind of what Joe said, let's creative ideas. What could we do to get people in this room? We've invested a lot of money. You've invested a lot of money in this room. This building's expensive. It's a big investment for just 1 hour a week. And so you want to use the building more.
One of the things that we've done in the past is have one group.
All right. Okay, wait a minute. Let me finish my little presentation. I'm going to invite you to discuss some things in a small group and then report it. Okay? So, what do you think people say they would need? What do people say they want from a church service to be able to come back? There are two things. They want inspiration or experience. They want to feel something. And community. Connect with people. Okay? So a lot of people are satisfied to just watch. Watching doesn't, well, let's take football. Some people get excited about watching football, but there's more energy when you're watching it in a sports bar and lots of people are yelling, and it's nothing compared to the energy of being there live. That's the same thing with music. Listening to it, watching a concert, or being at a concert. So it should be that much of a step up to come to a Sunday service rather than watching it. So there should be some experience of the sacredness in coming to church and coming on a Sunday morning. So I'm just going to talk about Sundays for now. The other thing is building community. That's always been a reason that people went to church on Sunday, to see their friends, to make friends, to meet people. Unity has not been really good at that. You know, mainline churches are better at creating groups or having potlucks and things. So, you know, we've been, I'm going to come and learn the principles here, and then I'm going to go and do that myself. So there are a number of ways that we could build community. So we're going to think about experience and community. Okay? So that's the question. The answers come from Spirit. The kingdom of heaven. It's within us and it's around us. So the answers come from Spirit within us and the Spirit between us. And so, what can we do to create a spiritual experience and create community? So I invite you to sit back and we'll take a few minutes in prayer and meditation, because that's our question. How can we know more of the divine, feel more of infinite love and wisdom? How can we create a context for people to experience the divine? And how can we help people? How can we facilitate people making friends, connecting with each other, and creating a sense of community? So let's open our minds and our hearts. We are sitting in a space that is dedicated to Spirit. We're sitting in a space that is dedicated to community. What shall we do? Let's take 5 minutes to listen, to watch, to expectantly wait for ideas, for inspiration. So we give thanks for answered prayer. So we proceed now with a attitude of expectancy, gratitude, and peace. So it is. So, what I would like you to do is to talk in a group of 4 or 5 about what ideas you might have. So, it could be this group, this group, this group. Okay, 4. There we go. Good. Good. So, each group needs a recorder. Get one of those yellow pieces of paper from a seat back and just take a couple notes. Okay, and a reporter. Could be the same person. A recorder and a reporter. So if you'd arrange your chairs and get in a little circle. So 2 main topics: experience and community.
He's gonna go ask somebody outside.
So, yeah.
What you're saying is, let's just,
And for somebody
not do
who
it without
is not in a church,
touching,
that
as long as it's.
that was really a blessing there.
Exactly.
Because I didn't feel comfortable or confident that I made the first move. So to have something within the structure of, thank you for coming to our family, now that you are here. Oh, really? That was funny. Yeah, that was great. Right? Wow. Yeah. Like, ooh. Right, guys. That's what you can't do when you're down and sitting at home.
Take another 5 minutes and make sure that everybody's had a chance to speak.
And some just are out right away. But you know what I mean? And that's just, and there's nothing, it's just different. Well,
Okay, take one more minute and finish up.
And so in order to practice that and physically present, is there some structure around that? Is there a trigger around that? Do you think, when Phyllis was talking about the kind of the dessert after service, that is more of the structure that would help? I'm a process person, so I'm looking for, we can't do that to chance. If we're wanting that level of intentionality, how are we creating the spaces that are likely to be that way? There you go. You're setting the expectations. That reminds her.
Okay. Let's hear what you've been talking about. There's been a lot of conversation here, a lot of so which reporter wants to start?
I'll go first.
All right. Let me,
Hi, everybody.
oh, yeah,
Is that the only?
yeah.
Okay. Hello, hello. There you go. Yeah, it's really, really great to see everybody and to see everybody here and co-creating this next phase of our adventure. So we talked about community and experience, and there were some things that were overlap, and we built on each other a little bit. One thing that we talked about was when we were at 14th and Dunn, we used to have a practice where there was a space in the service where people would stand up and say, this is how I'm doing, or I need prayer support for myself or my friend or my dog. And that was a way of getting to know people and know what they value and what they care for and what they need. And so I think we might have done away with that to give the lesson more space and time, but we lost connection in doing that. Kind of similarly, part of the service used to be turning to the people next to you and just saying hello. And I think, again, it might have been COVID, or it might have been to try to give the message more time and space, but we did away with that. And those are some things that create community. Also, name tags. I was just sharing with Jonna that I have a very bad memory, especially with names, and I get embarrassed when I can't remember someone's name, and so I will avoid them. And that doesn't create community, you know, that doesn't create community. So we also talked about food being something that connects people. So we talked about potlucks, but also having just smaller events at people's houses. I feel so much more connected when I can see like the art that's hanging on your wall in your house, or the scent of hand soap that you have in your bathroom. I mean, those are things that just give me more insight, and I feel more connected to you that way. Community for some of us really means this building and creating intentional connections between people within this building. So we talked about making sure that we understand the level of financial commitment that people in the community have towards supporting the building. We talked about after service having desserts or some kind of snack, but also being explicit about setting the intention of this is a space for you to get to know one another deeper, more individually, and really saying that's what this time is for us to get to know one another individually. On the experience part of that, so that's what did I leave anything out with community? No, okay. For the experience part, I was thinking of when have I had these profound spiritual experiences, whether it's a yoga class or here or some other event. And for me, it is sound current and chanting, because it shakes up the gray matter, but it also connects people. And that's not something that you can really do alone in your jammies. We also talked about this leads more to community than it does experience, but having someone within the community or several people within the community who it's their role, maybe it's a rotating role, where you are provided a list of people and you check up on them, especially if they've not been to service for a while, or if they've been to service and they've been kind of quiet. Then you can call them and check up and say, hey, this is your friendly Unity checkup, just seeing if you need anything. Any other things? Anything that was
Good
important
stuff.
to you all?
Thank you. That's really good stuff.
Yay!
Yeah. Who's next?
Okay. Bunch of different ideas. Circling after the service to discuss the service, to discuss books, use it as a mechanism to get to know one another, much like the metaphysics also, like we used to have before the service. I found that helpful when I first started to attend. All of that would give more of a sense of community. Someone suggested movie after the service, like downstairs with a discussion after the movie and popcorn. Just another way to relate. More regular meals, whether it be bagels or more elaborate, like we had that pitch-in last week. I had not really been to a big pitch-in, so that was kind of fun to see all the people spread out and talk to a few you hadn't talked to before. Let's see. Perhaps art projects having to do with holidays. When someone new comes, make it an intentional welcome to them and try to explain things to them and incorporate them into a role in the church. Let's see. Another one was a little community garden, perhaps even a memorial garden that a few people could work on together, thereby learning to know a few people a little better. walk together, picnic together in nice weather. Utilize the parking lot we have out here. Joe had some really good ideas about making it a place where people could stop and sit, or you would use the parking lot for formal or informal or festive gatherings. You could have games. It would be a standing testimony of creating community that we could have outside that would allow a different physical venue, and we could have games for children and different things like that. Just a different kind of a way to be seen, even from the road. Let's see. Walk together, picnic in nice weather, which is kind of a cute idea outside and everything. And people always wonder when other people gather, what's going on and what am I missing, you know? And you might get a few people that way to just kind of easily blend into the crowd and meet the people, which would be nice. That's all I have.
Well, our group was very eclectic. And my husband, suggested that maybe we could have a list of people with our groups. Maybe we could contact the people that are online to tell them how much we miss them and how we're checking in on them, and periodically check in on people here as well as people at home that have concerns that they want to share with everyone, just so we can have a telephone list or something in that effect so that we could make contact with the people. But someone else suggested in our group that we really have to, at this time, concern ourselves with the people that are here. And we have to build their spirits up first so that their spirits will enlighten other people to come back and want to come back because they like what they see, they like our energy, they like what we're projecting. And it's very important that we're projecting that on our online. So if they see that we're having a super good service and a super good time and are very welcoming, they'll want to come back, I think. I ran into a person that was a Unity member here, and I was trying to tell Deanne their husband, who she's no longer married to, was on the board here years ago. And I don't know him because I haven't been here that long. But she knew me. I was walking into Kroger's, and she said, "Patty." I turned around, and I really did not recognize her, but I knew her from somewhere. And it was somebody from Unity. And she said that she was watching the services, and she really likes our new minister. And she felt that we were on the right path of getting a warm reception from everyone. And she said she might come back soon. So that was a positive thing. And someone else in our group suggested that we have coffee and donuts at 10 o'clock to get people here to church on time. If we feed them first, they will come. Instead of this, after, we could open the Unity Cafe before church. It was a suggestion. And someone else Dan actually had this great idea of splitting greeters and ushers. Splitting the people that are going to be greeting and picking someone out of the congregation to be the usher to come down and pass the bag around for everyone to bless or. And I thought that was really a good idea because that gets somebody else involved that don't even expect to be involved. And I doubt we'll have too many people that will say, no, they can't do that. We might, and then we'll just have to do it as greeters or whatever. But I think it's a good suggestion to split those two up. And I really liked what Dave just said about saying hello to your neighbor. We did have a time when we would take a minute in the beginning of the service and do that. And that's something we don't do. And that's about it. Did I miss anything?
I think that's covered.
Yay!
Yay. Great ideas.
We have a response to something that someone said. Can we go ahead and say something about it right now?
Sure.
Okay. I noticed that John was taking pictures when we were having the pitch-in and different things lately. And Jody Spann put in the word joy in the newsletter at the beginning. Come join us, we're having joy at the church, or whatever
Yep.
the words were. And if you would do little videos and have them on the website, much like your pictures, except perhaps moving and talking, showing people actually having a good time, that would set that up a lot.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
Okay.
And, you know, make it look fun. Transmit the information to them through the visual means that you have.
Well, my photos turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Did I see it? Was I?
If we have fun,
I thought it was great.
it's contagious. It's an energy that goes out beyond the walls. It's an attractive energy. It's like gravity. Okay, so a little caveat here. Just because it's been suggested doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay? And the minister cannot do all of it, no matter who the minister is. No matter how many ministers you have. If you have a team of 3 ministers, there's still going to be things that people think should be done that aren't going to be able to be done because the community has to support it. And you can't start everything at once. Okay? You want to make sure that when you start something that it's going to work, that it's going to be done well. Okay? So it's got to be staged and taken care of. This Sunday's order of service already has a greet your neighbor slide in it. So that's already happening.
Great minds.
Yeah. That mentioned the building. Sometimes when you walk into a church, you get an experience of the sacred just by walking into the building. Okay, a big part of that is the consciousness, the energy that's in the building. There's a very nice energy, consciousness here from all of the prayer and celebration and positive energy that's been in this building. But walking through that door and seeing this room does not inspire. I was so happy to hear that you are updating the sanctuary, that you have a renovation project going. Okay, because it's really needed. Churches that meet in, like, say, a hotel meeting room have the difficulty because it's not an inspirational space. Well, this could be an inspirational space, but it's cluttered. And some things need to be done. That's why you have a renovation project going. No, a lot of things can be done. A lot of things have been discussed about being done. So my question to you is, What are the most important things that need to be done in the upcoming renovation? So the renovation team has been talking about a lot of possibilities, including some long-term things. But short-term, immediate, right away, next steps. What's important to do right away to make inspiration have an experience of just walking into this room? Joe?
Change the seating.
Hmm?
Change the seating. Instead of having it like a school class, open it up to how we had it round.
Have more of a round seating arrangement so we can see each other?
Right, I think, and,
Have you done that in the past?
yes, we have.
A time or two, but that was one of our intentions when we took the pews out, to have flexibility.
Ah,
Different events, but also different
Do
seating.
you use the mic so we all can hear?
and pass it over.
One of the reasons we took the pews,
Yeah, the little switch, push it up.
one of the reasons. One of the reasons that we took the pews out was to show we were, to reflect that we're flexible people, that we're not rigid, we're not, we have spirit moves through us and the seating arrangement can change every week if we wanted. But I think it does say something when you come in and everything's facing front. It kind of is like old school in a way.
What that says is the word is important. You can just look at the front of a church and know what, is it a communion table? Is there an altar? Is the pulpit right in the middle? And so that means the message is what you're here for. Okay? So,
Yeah, and the thing about that may be difficult for some people, especially if whoever's talking are they have to really look around. They have to move around. They just can't stand this way and have their back toward this group. And I think that's a good idea, that we should have, have the opportunity for really, if we're going to be able to see one another, that the person who's talking gets to experience really moving and moving that energy around, instead of just going like this, falling asleep.
okay. All right.
The first thing you have to do is to be able to take in the information and take in the environment. And I have macular degeneration. And right off, the lighting isn't bright enough. I'm in choir, and the steps are not really safe with all the wires and different things, and I had some experience with that. Just practical things. Writing that has a good background, good contrast, and good size. Because if you don't have some of these things, especially for people who are visually challenged, then you don't even have a chance to get some messages.
So you're talking about the size of the letters, the fonts on the...
Yeah, or the contrast, yes, or just the lights or the steps. That's the most pressing ones for my...
I was looking at the lights, and this light is the only one that has all of its bulbs working. All of the others have at least one out. Most of them have two out of the four. So, but yeah, lighting. Lighting is important.
It's also difficult during Sunday service as well. When the sun is coming in, some people even wear sunglasses.
So that's on the renovations list. Windows.
Yes.
Doing something about the windows. What else? What else is important to make this urgent, to make this room feel better, more inspirational? Oh, there's gold up there.
There's no contrast. I mean, you need contrast, you need color. I mean, the blue, I think we did something really great with when you chose blue as the color for the seats. That's very,
Yeah.
it has energy to it. But these walls is just kind of, like you got, you want to puke or something.
Okay. All right. So one of the things, when I first walked in, I walked in that door there right behind where Seb is sitting. And it's like, oh, what a welcome. Okay? And so one of the things that's planned, I think is one of the first things that should be done, is a sound booth, getting all of that equipment into its own area and a storage area back there to put all of the extra chairs and all of the clutter that's around the outside to clean that up and have a place for storage. I think that's one of the most important things that should be done right away. Mary?
One thing that I have always struggled with is during one thing I've always struggled with in this building is the lack of heat. I mean, I freeze during so many times of the year, and so I hope during the renovation that somehow the air can move around somehow, or look at the air conditioning or the heat or something, so that there's a better
Okay.
flow, because sometimes it's warm downstairs and freezing upstairs, and I know a lot of people feel the same way.
It's hard to be inspired when you're cold.
Yeah, it's
Or
not-
uncomfortable.
Yeah, anyways,
Yeah.
That's just something to. Yeah.
All right.
And I wonder how much cold air the windows let in. In the sanctuary.
They're single pane glass. So, yeah. And the heat is all up there. You need a big ceiling fan up there in the wintertime to get the heat moving. I mean, that's a simple thing. I don't think the front of the sanctuary is inspiring at all. That screen is way out of date technology. The having that vertical piece there is nice if there was another one to the left of it to balance it. But yes.
I'm surprised nobody said anything about the carpeting. It feels very 1970s, and maybe with different carpeting that to me also looks very 1970s. But yeah, it's not like we are the future.
Yeah. It wouldn't take much. I mean, this is an inspirational, it's not a cathedral, but just the space, the spaciousness here is inspirational. And so it can use some fine tuning, get the wires out of the way. Well, okay, so anything else about the building? Mary, are you warm enough now? I see you're sitting on your hands.
I have layers on.
Huh?
I'm plenty warm. I'm hot actually, but it's warmer than it's normally been.
This is, it's set now on what it is on Sunday morning.
Well,
It's-
it's warmer tonight, but I do have layers. And I have
You came prepared. Yeah. Yes.
Reverend Matt, I had thought about, does anybody like anything about this space? When you came up with the spaciousness is inspirational, but is there anything else that you actually like about this space?
Well, I like the light that comes in through the windows. Even though it's painted
Say again, Patty?
I like the light that comes in from the windows, and I like being able to look out there when we are looking at the sky, looking at God around us. I like that, but I do know that it interferes with
like the light from all of the light that comes in here during the day from the windows. But when the sun comes in, it is distracting, isn't it?
Plus and minus.
One thing that our visioning team has talked about, and I think it's amazing that we haven't discussed it 20 years ago. I guess we weren't here then, but the fact that our main entrance, most people park in the parking lot. And you don't know which door. There's this door down here, this door is perpendicular to the parking lot. So our team has been talking with an architect about creating an entrance where the daycare during rainy weather or winter weather, our Sunday, community can have a nice entrance where you actually feel like you know where to go into the building if you're new.
That would be like just a roof, right?
Yeah, maybe sidewalls and
Huh.
signage. Yeah, signage.
Oh, entrance.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, I'm glad we started talking about this renovation stuff. Wish we would have done this a little sooner. I'm part of the team, and we've discussed a lot of what you've been saying, actually. And we've discussed the carpeting, which is all, that's gone. The staging is going to be larger. One thing I wanted to emphasize was the vertical display in the back. Now, the screen is gone. Audio and visual is going to be updated. The lighting is going to be updated. But we, as a team, kind of liked the vertical, and so that it just kind of broke everything up. It was a nice display. But if there's a lot of people that think that it's too busy, that's part of what we want to know. So, one of the first things you said, Matt said, was that looks, I think I would say, too busy. Is that what you think?
No.
Or
I think it's unbalanced because I think you need the other, something that wide on the other side to complete that. Because that's one of the best features in my mind when you come in is that vertical element there in the front. You don't need a big, you might need some artwork, or you don't need an altar, you don't need a table full of flowers. I mean, there's a lot of things that a lot of churches have in the front, but you already have the beginning of a really dramatic front of the sanctuary. Yeah.
So we thought about that. Now, looking at it with that on both sides, then I think it gets a little busy, but that's my own interpretation of it.
Well, as I understand, there was a plan to extend that would be kind of a plain.
Well, we got another problem, so that's where we're going to have for screening, TV, whatever we come up with for the visual effects, which is going to take the place of the screen. So you got to have space. I don't know.
If you put a screen in the front like that, what you're saying is this is a presentation place, like a business presentation place.
Well, like it is now, but it's going to be quite a bit out there. It's going to be a screen, thing shining.
Churches don't. Most churches don't have anything like that. They have the screens or monitors on the side, and let the front be the focus. So anyway, so this is a nice room. It wouldn't take much to create an effect when someone walks in that door that they go, that's what we want. Okay? And they sit down. And the service does the same thing. Joe?
One of the nice things at the airport in Indianapolis, when you come into that spacious part, is that they have these clouds that an artist had conceived. And I think, you know, we could do something, having something hanging down here that would really make use of the space in a very creative way, in a very, that could sacred or brighten up the space.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I don't know, I mean, I thought of those walls, these walls here, and I thought, wow, it would be really, it would be really interesting to see, how could I say this? I thought, you know, it'd be nice to commission some artists to conceive some murals or something of that sort to really kind of do something. And in light of doing that, it would get a lot of attention in the city of what's happening here.
Mm.
And I think that is something we need to look into in terms of trying to get people involved. One of the things, I don't know if you know about, we have the Tibetan monks, they come here and they do the mandala, or they used to.
Yeah.
And that's something that's very sacred. And I think we need to encourage that sort of thing more and more with spiritual people who maybe do dance or music or some, to get stuff happening inside the space.
Some positive, joyful energy happening here so that people want to come and be part of it. And when they come to be part of it, they connect with other people and make friends. And so, so the Sunday service should have several different things. The Sunday morning program is more than that 1 hour. Okay? The Sunday morning should have several different elements to help people connect. Whatever other programs we have, we should also be thinking, okay, there's the program, whether it's a kirtan or whether it's a unity class, there should be some sort of activity or something to help people connect with each other. Just like we did here. You know, we could have done this, but you're talking in groups like that is community building. Okay, so.
I have one suggestion that I did mention. I was thinking about, we were talking about experience and community. I have a question that, is there any way that we can put out little cards or something that we can give to each person that comes on Sunday, collect them in the collection basket, and ask them what's their greatest experience here? What is their greatest experience here? Why do they come here? Why do they love it here? Why do they share spirit here? Any question like that that will get them thinking, and if they could fill it out and put it in the collection basket, we could go over them at our transitional meetings or whatever.
Testimony. They call it testify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good for everybody.
Yeah. So I wrote that down myself as something that could be inspirational in addition to the Sunday service, is to have members of the community tell a story or something about how they've used their spiritual principles or something about a spiritual experience that they've had. That so you get to know them, but you also get a practical example of what we teach.
Just one more idea. I was thinking of that mural. If you took magnetic paint, so it can be any color. I've worked with magnets, sheet magnet material.
Magnetic paint.
Yes.
I never heard of that.
And so, careful. So we could have the
Thank
kids
you.
come up with, we could have the kids come up with, or come up with a theme, like birds or something like that, and they could create these birds on, and we could just slap them on the wall, put them anywhere we want, because it's all magnetic. And we could do that, so we can put them up there, and so it would always change. You move it over there next week, and it's like,
You,
we can be kids.
all right.
But it would be a way of really creating art that would change all the time. With
That's
the theme.
interesting.
And even with that same theme, it could be moved, so it starts changing.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, the colors are beautiful.
So I was thinking we might end at 7:45, but I definitely want to be out of here by 8. So we could talk about this for a long time, but a lot of things came up. I would like to have the notes from your group. I'll compile it, and I'll have a kind of a report on this. We'll talk about some of these things next Thursday night. We have some other things to talk about. What I'm thinking is this is like a leadership team that might prepare stuff and report it to the board, and the board makes decisions. Okay? The board could spend a lot of time discussing all of this. The board really should just get the information from the community like this. So we're going to report this stuff to the board and see if there's any decision that needs to be made, if any budgetary considerations. So rather than the board and the staff deciding something and telling the community what's going to happen, the community says, this is what we're thinking, this is what's inspiring us, and they take it to the board, and the board decides. And then the staff helps to implement. So that's the pattern that we want to have. So thank you for being here this evening. Please come back next week and tell people that this was interesting. I don't know if it was it fun? It's, did you take a picture? Yeah. Okay, so Seb has recorded this. It's going to be available on our platforms. Maybe we can publicize it and tell people that we'll stream it next week and they can see it live. Okay? So, okay.
Can we get a group picture?
Anything else?
Can we get a group picture? Yeah, all right.
So why don't you just get one from over there to kind of see rather than, we all stand together,
Sure.
Ah.
Get up on the tree.
There,
Climb the tree.
get up on the tree. All right, 1, 2, if everybody could look, I would, hey, Phyllis.
All right.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3. One more. Hey,
All right, thank you. So, we're thankful. We're expectant. We're excited. And we're at peace. So it is. Okay, bye. Okay, there's yours.